Oh, hey everyone, Lopal Levi here. You got me at a bad time. I'm going through my mail right now. I'll catch up with you once I'm done. Alright, I gotta go through these letters, see if it'll make my day any better. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Just another bill. And I just got removed from my grandfather's will. This must be from my neighbor. He's gotta pay alimony. Oh, look at that, a coupon. Half off bologna. There's a package here. Must be my new controller. Oh, yeah, that's right. Dentist appointment next week. Gotta get rid of that molar. Ah, finally, I got something cool. A letter adorned with a jewel. Just as I thought, it's an invitation to a party hosted by the princess of our nation. Wait, looking at it, I can see it now. It's for my brother. That hurts. Ow. Hey, Medium Polly Martin, it's for you. Clear your weekend. You got something to do.
Thanks, Levi. You want to come through just for the free meal?
Nah, I'm good. I wouldn't want to be a third wheel. It ain't easy being green. Heck, ask Luigi. He's helped save the universe alongside Mario many times, and in some ways you can argue he's even more powerful than Mario. But he never gets any respect. Even in Mario and Luigi Brothership, he's kind of portrayed as a crybaby. Sure, it's kind of been part of his character for a while. He's always been way more emotional than Mario. Like in Luigi's Mansion, when he finally saves him, he cries tears of joy. It's kind of wholesome. That's why Luigi's the GOAT. He's just a cool dude. But he just doesn't get enough love from Nintendo. He only really has the 3 Luigi's Mansion games and the Mario and Luigi games, but we need to wait for like 15 years between entries for both of them. So, of course, if Nintendo's not going to show our boy respect, the only logical thing to do is to do it ourselves. Yes, Luigi Fangames. Sure, it might make Nintendo mad, but, I don't care. Doesn't matter how many Nintendo ninjas get sent to my house. I'm always locked and loaded, you know what I'm saying? Oh, and also, I'm talking about some ROM hacks, too, so this is a double whammy against Nintendo. So without any further ado, let's get started, why don't we? The first game I want to talk about today is Luigi and the Quest for Nothing by Lu9. Yes, you heard that right. Nothing. I mean, Luigi says it himself. Dear Diary, today I will go on a quest to search for nothing. If Mario reads this, he'll be jealous because I can find nothing and you can't. Now with our goal in mind, we're put into your average first Mario level. Luigi has his usual high flutter jump, but thankfully he's not that slippery. The game itself looks pretty good. It uses the lost level sprites as a base, but with some minor edits. Like the Koopas are now bipedal, and the Goombas are now a little bit 3D. Later on in the level, we find a note block that says that nothing is found in Nothingland, which makes a lot of sense. And after that, we beat the level, and oh man, front-facing Luigi is something I hoped I'd never see. Now we get to go to an underground level, and we're introduced to the checkpoints, and there's even the dragon guys from Mario World, which is pretty cool. And at the end of the level, the exit is walled off, so we have to go to the warp zone, but for some reason there's a rocket, so we climb aboard and blast off. Now we're on the moon, and we got the Mario Land space song in the background, which is really catchy. Also, we gotta keep an eye on our air meter, lest we, suffocate and die. There's also these mini shuttles we can walk into to send them flying, which can open up paths that we'd otherwise not be able to enter, which is pretty cool. At the end of the level, Luigi says that he can just parachute back to Earth, which, I'm not gonna argue the validity of that. And we're even told that we can run with the parachute, because, quote, everything's freaking possible in the Mario universe. I guess it's better to recognize that something doesn't make sense than to just have it not make sense. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I died a lot of times in this level. It's pretty difficult, so I kinda cheated and just floated off screen. Also, for some reason, near the end, we can see Pepper Oni from Lego Island, which is really random, but hey, it's kinda cool, I guess. Now Luigi has fallen into a river. Oh wait, maybe that's why they had the Lego guy. Luigi has fallen into a river in Lego City. But no, according to Luigi, it's actually a flood, apparently. It doesn't really matter, it's a water level. And I usually hate water levels, but hey, this is that bad. Anyway, the next level is a desert with rugs, and we're also given these special shoes to walk on the mini piranha plants, or whatever they're called. There's also this toad trying to sell us the rugs for our home, and for some reason he glosses over the fact that some of them can fly, which, yeah, some of them can fly. Luigi then says that he walked until the grass was gone, and yeah, everything's gone. Everything in the level is invisible, so we have to follow the coins. And finally, we've made it to Nothingland, so Luigi can find his precious nothing. And first of all, Lu9, if you ever see this, why would you make the first enemy a hammer, bro? I died 1 billion times because of this stupid guy. But anyway, moving on. We have to do more precarious platforming on the invisible blocks, and we even have to make sure that we keep our special shoes so that we can jump across these plants. It's actually pretty well designed, if not a little bit annoying. And now we're finally at the end, and for some reason, Luigi has a car, and we've got to do some on-rails platforming. Once we reach the end, though, we're now at the true nothing, and we've got to do even more invisible platforming. Gosh! Also, there's this section with these bullet bills that really infuriated me. Like, come on, it was just... Now at the end, we get the nothing, and then Strong Bad from Homestar Runner shows up for some reason, and he's mad at us for stealing his nothing. I'm sorry, I didn't know, but either way, I'm taking it now. Now we're in a car chase section, and we've got a platform while also making sure to use our nothing powers to block Strong Bad's bullets. But we need to make sure not to overuse it since it has limited energy, but there are some batteries we can grab to recharge it. At the end, we escape and show Mario the nothing, and oh man, is he jealous. Strong Bad returns home and sends the cheat to steal our nothing back, and now Luigi has nothing. But like, as in he doesn't have anything. And we're left on a cliffhanger. And honestly, this game is pretty fun. A bit difficult at times, but hey, it's alright. It looks good, there's some good music, it controls pretty alright, and hey, it's kind of funny. It's something great about Fangames. They can just be as silly as they want. It sucks that it ended on a cliffhanger, though. If only there was a sequel. Oh, wait. There is. Luigi and the Quest for Nothing 2. Yeah, it's only a demo right now, but hey, it's still really cool. First of all, big change in graphics. It uses the Mario 3 sprites as a base and has everything in the style of a Game Boy Color game. It looks really nice. Goes to show you that sometimes less is more. Also, you may notice that the animations are very smooth, which I can see how some people might not like. Some people gotta have it pixel perfect, but I personally really enjoy it. I think it looks pretty cool. Also, Luigi now has a green Toad partner that you can switch to at any time. The control is the same, but Luigi has the ability to wall jump, and Toad can pull up plants from the ground like in Mario 2. It's a neat little thing, There's also 3 green stars in every level like in Mario 3D World, which I really enjoy because I like having something to collect in the levels. The first level is your standard romp through a grassland, but there are a wide variety of enemies on the level. Also, there's these horizontal blocks you can break by jumping on them, which is kind of neat. Now the next level is called Green Leaves, and it's more of a wooded level, kind of like the levels from Mario World. Again, I think this game just looks really good. It's really colorful despite having a limited palette. Anyway, another feature I should have mentioned is the Plumber's Journal, which you can check at any time and gets updated frequently. It's kind of like the notes in between the levels in the first game, and I really like it. Next level is 2 mush platforms, which, as I'm sure you can guess, there are a ton of mushroom platforms. I like that pretty much every level has its own thing going on, Next up is Koopa Lakes, which is a really catchy tune. All the music in the game is actually really good. I don't know if it's all custom, but even if it's not, hey, at least it's still good choice in music. Also, screw this Ninja. He can kill you even if you jump on him. Also, there's these falling blocks that suck. But hey, the water at the bottom is actually kind of fun. I've always liked these kind of levels. Also, for some reason, Green Toad thinks the falling blocks look like Harrison Ford, which is kind of funny. In the second half of the level, we get to go underwater, and hey, I'm just saying, I kind of like it. There's also this cool section where we gotta bring a P-switch back to these blocks to get the green star. There's also this Toad at the end that we gotta save to get the last green star, and we get this funny note alongside it. And finally, we get to the boss, and it's Eggman for some reason. Also, this fight sucks. We have to wait for Eggman to toss a Koopa so we can use the shell against him, which is fine, but it's the second phase where it sucks. He starts bouncing around, and since the screen is so small, it's really hard to dodge, and if he barely grazes your shell that you're holding, he'll destroy it, and you'll have to wait for the next one. Also, his bottom propellers will destroy the shell and won't do any damage, so it kind of, sucks. After 20 minutes, though, I finally beat him, and we get this awesome cutscene, and get introduced to Chapter 2. However, I'm not going to be talking about it, so that you can experience for yourself. There's also a ton of other things in here that I didn't mention, so make sure you play it. As always, all the games mentioned in this video will be linked in the description. Overall, I really like this game. It takes itself a bit more seriously than the last one, which I find way more enjoyable, but it still has some good humor. It looks good, it plays good, it's just good. You really gotta play it. Alright, now with that out of the way, in the vein of sequels, it's time I talk about what you've all been waiting for. Luigi Doesn't Drink a Glass of Milk by LinkedIn Lion 64. It's the sequel to Mario Drinks a Glass of Milk. I mean, what else do I gotta say? That's enough of an intro. The game starts with Luigi writing in his diary about how Mario's been missing for a month, and how all Mario was thinking about before he left was milk. And apparently, ever since Mario went missing, the milk industry was at an all-time high, which Luigi thinks there must be a correlation. But to find out, we have to infiltrate the milk factory. And we get the super epic title screen. So if you watched my Mario Fangames video, you remember how Mario's milk journey was just a silly little minigame. Well, it's a full-blown Mega Man-style adventure, and no, I'm not kidding. The only thing that would have been crazier would be if this was a Souls-like. We eventually meet this EGAD hologram, and he gives us the Familk-Com drink system, which is a poltergust milk shooting combo. So now we can shoot anyone who stands in our way. Also, we have to keep an eye on our milk meter, and we can collect these bottles and other such things to raise the amount that we have. But be careful, if you have too much, it can slowly damage you, since Luigi is lactose intolerant. Later in the level, we can find this strawberry, and by absorbing it, we can now shoot strawberry milk, which has extra range. It's a very interesting, clever, and funny way to incorporate different weapons. Now at the end, we have to fight the Lacto-S machine. He just kind of shoots us, but eventually he starts moving around. But once we kill him, we're able to move on to the coffee brewery. There's a chocolate bar at the beginning that we can absorb to make chocolate milk, which has a much shorter range, but I'm pretty sure does more damage or something. Later on, we find another EGAD hologram, and he gives us an upgrade that helps us propel ourselves using the Famicom, and now we can shoot across large gaps while we're in the coffee vats. There's also these coffee beans in the level that we can absorb and shoot out that explode on impact, which helps us clear paths. At the end, we meet Bean, the leader of the coffee brewery, and she's mad because we got milk in all of the coffee vats, so she's getting ready to fight us. She flies around in this clown car that looks like a mug, which is a really neat detail. She drops the explosive coffee beans on us, and we have to suck them up and shoot them back at her to knock her down so we can shoot the crap out of her. Once we defeat her, she says she'll be telling her big bro about this, which doesn't sound good. We then get a cutscene where we meet Princess Dairy, who is Luigi's dairy godmother. Man, these jokes must have written themselves. Even Luigi's impressed by these jokes, so much so that he tries to walk away. She then shows us a vision of Luigi crying while drinking milk before shifting to Mario drinking milk, and then Mario keels over, but then he's Skeleton Mario? I don't know, this game's weird. The next level is the ice cream towers, and it's snowing! Thankfully, it isn't slippery, though. That would be, unfortunate. We can also find a banana in this level to make banana milk, which makes the milk bounce around. Also, weird choice having banana milk. Never really heard of or seen it, but hey, to each their own. There's also a section where we gotta go through a recreation of 1-1, which is a cute reference. At the end, we finally find Mario, but he's acting a little weird, and it turns out he's been taken over by the milk, and now we've gotta fight him. He throws milk bottles at us, and he tries to transform at half health, but I stopped him before he could. Once we defeat him, he says goodbye to Luigi before, well... Luigi, stricken with grief, vows to avenge his brother, and now it's time for the final showdown. There's milk lava, and it's basically just a big techno-themed level, which is always really cool. There's also an auto-scroll section, which is pretty fun. At the end, we get our choice of milk, and the milkman finally shows himself. Anyway, I cooked him in a matter of seconds. Right as we're about to kill him, Bean comes in and says that we can't, no matter how grief-stricken we are. Luigi backs away, before she traps him like the menace she is. But just as it seems like all hope is lost, Mario comes back and saves us, and now we're launched into the sky, and it's time for the true final showdown. We team up with Mario, and now we have to fight both at once, with this truly epic song in the background. And yeah, I cooked them both again. Then Mario and Luigi realize that they're 3,000 feet in the air, and it seems like they're gonna die, but they remember that there's no fall damage in the Mario universe. Mario and Luigi go home, the milk factory explodes, and the game is over. That is what I would say if EGAD didn't show up at the end and reveal that, he was the bad guy the whole time. You know what? I really like this game. It's fun, the art style is goofy looking, the music is nice, and man, is that story something else. Definitely play it for yourself. There's some secrets that I didn't show off that you're gonna have to, discover for yourself. Alright, now for something a little bit different. I'm gonna be talking about some ROM hacks, with the first one being... Luigi and the Mysterious Portals by I'm Amelia is a ROM hack for Super Mario World, and I haven't really seen anybody talk about it, but it's actually really good. It's only got a little over 300 downloads on SMW Central, so let's boost that up. Let's try to get it to at least 450. I think we could do that. Booting in, we're told the exposition. While exploring, Luigi finds some ruins that contain mysterious portals that seem to lead to other areas. A bit on the simple side, but it gets the job done. After this, we're thrown into the temple area with some pretty freaking sweet music. After collecting this gem at the far side of the room, it activates this portal which leads to the first level, which is this really beautiful grass level. I mean, there's so much color and it's so detailed. Not to mention, it has an amazing 16-bit rendition of some Mario 3D World music, which personally I think that game has one of the best soundtracks of a Mario game ever. In the level, there's a set amount of gemstones that we need to collect to open the portals. They're all pretty well hidden, but not stupid ridiculous like a lot of collectathon hacks usually are. There's also a lot of unique mechanics in this hack. Like in this level, there's an orb you collect that spawns a bridge, which is pretty cool. I also like that we have to go back to the hub to unlock all the levels. It's something I haven't really seen in a Mario World hack before, but I'm all here for it. The next level is called Go Join the Circus, which I'm sure you can relate to, you clown. I'm sorry, that was uncalled for. Please forgive me. And again, this level looks really good. It's just super colorful, and colors are awesome! There's also these weird balloon rings you can grab onto that let you float upward or slowly downward, depending on how many there are. It's pretty cool, but they're made kind of trivial since you're given the cape at the start of the level. However, there are some other gimmicks in the level, with those being the key, which, unlike regular Mario World, you don't have to hold on to, and there's even a cannon that can shoot you straight up. It's also probably time I mentioned the large amount of custom enemies in this hack, like the Shy Guys and Ninjas. I really like when Fangames have a wide variety of enemies instead of just having the usual Goombas and Koopas. It just makes it more engaging. Oh yeah, there's also these little sparkles in the air that you'll sometimes find that can activate something. And at the end of the level, there's this smiley face, which is amazing game design. 20 out of 10. The next level is called Fun at the Beach, and yeah, it's a beach level, and I'd say it's pretty fun. Like I said earlier, these types of levels where you're platforming over water are really fun, adds more stakes in a way. There's also one of these wheel thingies that I've always found really enjoyable in these games. Oh, and I don't know how I forgot to mention, but this game ditches the usual Mario health system and gives you 5 hearts, which is kinda neat. The next level is Koopa Tree Fort, and yeah, it's a tree fort owned by Koopas, pretty on brand. It uses some Mario RPG music, which is incredibly based, and again, it just looks really good. There's a segment where you have to platform across these trees, and it's just neat. And there's also these bob-ombs in the level, which will explode if you're not careful. Level 5 is the Desert of Illusion, but don't worry, it's not confusing, unlike that dang Forest of Illusion. But there are a lot of doors that lead to very similar looking areas, which could confuse you if your mental fortitude isn't as strong as mine. And the final level I'll be talking about, but not the final level in the game, is Crazy Cave Corridors. It's a big cave with a lot of winding paths and a lot of buzzy beetles, Monty moles, and those spiky guys from Yoshi's Island, which makes this definitely the trickiest level yet, but nothing I couldn't handle. Overall, I really enjoy this hack. It looks amazing, it has some great music, and the levels are fun, and it has some really good balanced difficulty. Like I said, I didn't cover the whole hack because I actually want you guys to play this, and if I tell you everything, then you're probably not gonna. But yeah, great hack. Go play it and make sure we bump that download number up. This hack really deserves more attention. Alright, next ROM hack is for Mario 64, and it's called Luigi and the Forest Ruins Rebooted by Mario Crash on SMW Central. It's about Luigi and some forest ruins. I only played a bit of it since it's a 40-star hack, and I wanted to get this video done in a reasonable amount of time so the algorithm doesn't literally kill me. Anyway, we start as Luigi in this dark forest, and the sign tells us to go into the building up ahead, but the entrance is closed, so we gotta make our way through an alternate entrance by climbing all the way up to the top. Once we do, we're dropped into an interesting area reminiscent of Peach's castle in a way, and there's these blue toads who tell us that they're thankful to see us. Of course, since I don't have any stars, I have to go to the 0-star level, which is the Grassland Gardens, and hey, it's pretty good looking. Green grass, flowers, a stream of water, and these little houses. It's nice. Anyway, I decided to climb up to the highest point that I could, since you usually gotta do that in Mario 64. And it was here at the peak of the mountain that I found King Womp, and he wants to just be left alone and tend to his garden, which is really sad since I know what I gotta do. 5 ground pounds later, he was dead and I got the star. Pretty cool. In the next star, I got to meet Koopa the Quick, and he looks pretty happy. I accepted his offer to race and promptly got my butt handed to me. And then I fell from so immensely high, it's a wonder I didn't freaking die. So instead, I just went to this secret nook I spotted and got a star from there instead. Then when I went back, I got stuck, so I just decided to leave and see what the next level had to offer, which was this admittedly kind of awesome blue desert. I like the vibe to it. My goal was to get to the red palm tree, and there was some precisely precarious platforming. But hey, I made it anyway because I'm just that cracked. After getting a game over, I decided to take a break and start again next morning. Alright, now with that done, it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for. Maybe, I think, I don't know you. It's a horror game time, starting with Luigi Luigi Insanity by LSF Games on MFGG is an adventure game styled after Luigi's Mansion games, with a really cool 2D style to it. Starting the game, we get an opening cutscene, which is pretty epic. Luigi is woken up by the thunder and goes to get some warm milk. Wait. I thought Luigi was lactose intolerant. How dare these two games made by completely different people that share no relation at all not follow the important continuity of Luigi's intolerance for milk? Anyway, EGAD needs our help since he's stuck in a creepy mansion, and the title sequence is pretty freaking sweet. Anyway, we make it into the mansion, and we're told to investigate objects, as this is how we interact with the game. Eventually, EGAD calls us to warn us of a ghost roaming the mansion, and we have to hide and are given way too much time. But hey, at least the music is pretty banging. Eventually, the ghost, who happens to be a creepy Luigi, walks through, and thankfully I had a good enough hiding spot so that he didn't see me. It honestly reminds me of the scenes in Metroid Fusion where you have to hide from the SAX since, you're hiding from a creepy wide-eyed version of the character you're playing as. Anyway, now it's 1 o'clock. Luigi says it'd be obvious to have a secret book switch. One of the books is out of place, and lo and behold, once we light up a candle and it's bright enough to see, it turns out that the out-of-place book is a switch that opens up to a passage. And Luigi is very surprised. I mean, at least they were self-aware. It makes it kind of funny, Anyway, in this hallway, when we run all the way to the right, the floor caves in and it low-key kind of jump-scared me. So we enter through the only other door that we can, and Luigi grabs a chainsaw. Luigi, you do know that the ghost is incorporeal, right? Like, it ain't gonna do jet. Oh no, it was just saw down the bookshelf to turn it into a bridge to cross the gap, which, that actually makes a lot more sense. Now we can access this new room, and after going to the storage room again for the hammer, we can fix this telescope and look to the sky, and when we look at this large star, it eventually gets bigger and it crashes into the mansion. Like, what? I mean, props for creativity, I guess. It's pretty cool. Once it crashes, we're able to grab this key that fell out of the cabinet, and we're able to open the locked door, and it happens to be a bathroom. After almost being killed by these spikes, EGAD calls us and tells us that we have to choose our hiding spot very carefully. So, of course, I chose the bathtub, and... yeah! Luigi. You know what? I can kind of see why you get no respect, you absolute goober. Of course, we get caught, and honestly, while this screen isn't really that scary, I think it's better than having a crappy jump scare with a really loud noise. Now, on my second time through, I decided to go under the toilet, and you will not believe this, but the ghost flushes Luigi down. Apart from the physical impossibility of this, why would the ghost do this? Anyway, we take this ladder out of the sewers, get this key, get back into the mansion, go in the elevator, and the ghost spawns in and behind us, and there's a chase scene, but thankfully the light kills the ghost. We save EGAD, agree to never discuss this again, and the credits roll. Honestly, I liked this game. It was pretty short, and the puzzles weren't really that scary, but hey, it looked pretty good. The atmosphere was pretty alright. The first hiding segment was actually a little unnerving, and hey, the chase scene was actually pretty creepy. Overall, pretty good. Now, for the last game of the day, which is also a horror game, we'll be talking about... Welcome Luigi was made by Randy Becker on Game Jolt for the Luigi Kid EXE Challenge. I've actually talked about one of Randy Becker's games before, which was Nintendo.exe, which was really good. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that Randy Becker makes some of the greatest EXE games ever. Also, he makes real games you can buy on Steam. In fact, his newest game, Unit Down Charge, is going out in September of this year. There's a demo available now, and I've played it, and it's actually really good. It's got this awesome vaporwave aesthetic, and it's a pretty fun on-rail shooter, so definitely check it out if it sounds like your kind of thing. It'll also be down in the description alongside everything else mentioned today. Also, Randy Becker, if you're somehow watching this and you need a beta tester for Unit Down Charge, hit me up. Anyway, back on track, we start the game with this epic cutscene, and we're dropped onto this weird stage, and upon entering the building, we see we're Luigi, and it's all Mario 3 themed. Upon walking back out, this creepy Mario jump scares us, and we're thrown back again, but the set is now very dark, and, we're in danger. Our goal is to collect coins and put them in this pipe, but there's a couple threats that we need to manage. There's this Mario that will move in the dark, so we occasionally have to check in on him and make sure the lights are on. Then there's this Yoshi egg that we have to wind this music box for so he doesn't hatch and, kill us. Then there's this buff Toad who will push on this box to get closer to the door, so we have to push it back to keep him at bay. Occasionally, all of these doors will lock with this creepy picture of Peach on it, so when this happens, we have to go outside through this door and walk past this creepy Peach to hit this block to open the doors back up. However, if we move while she's looking at us, we'll, die. One major mechanic you have to look out for is the fact that the doors have a limit on how many times you can open them before they lock for the rest of the game. It adds another layer of strategy, since you can't just check in whenever you want, you have to space them out. It adds a huge layer of stress as well, because you don't want to go in too frequently, or else you won't be able to go in for the rest of the game. However, if you don't go in enough, they'll obviously kill you. It's just a very good mechanic overall. Also, it just looks really good. The use of the sprites in a 3D environment looks very nice, and the perpetual darkness is, scary. Also, the monster designs are just really good. I've always liked the twisted versions of popular characters that aren't just EXE. Also, the weird textures are such a cool style that help the monsters fit in with the environment better. After getting enough coins, we can exit and there's a blinding light before we see our hands go back to normal, and all of the characters are just cardboard cutouts. We exit through this backstage area, but before we can get home safely, this creepy Mario catches us and we're sent back to the title screen, which I forgot to mention is really cool with this eerie music. There's also the extras menu, which has all the character models so you can see all of them in detail. Mario is called Their Puppet, Peach is called Miss Gaze, and oh man, she's creepy. Toad is freaking jacked and called Test 128. Yoshi, who I didn't get to see, is called Famished One, and yeah, that name goes insanely hard and this design is pretty epic. Put this on an album cover. I really like this game. Like I said, the aesthetic is awesome, and the whole time I was playing I was on edge, even though I knew what to expect since I watched Luigi Kid's video on it. Even though it only took me 10 minutes to beat, it felt like forever since it was that nerve-wracking and scary. I definitely recommend you play this for yourself if you want a good scare. I can't do it justice in a video, you gotta play it to understand. So, what did we learn today? Luigi Fangames are pretty good, and Luigi is a cool dude that deserves more games. Okay, that sounds good enough. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and maybe even subscribe and hit that bell if you want to see more. Anyway, with all that being said, I've been Lopal Levi. You've been a great viewer, and I'm off. See ya.